Hello, everybody, and welcome to the jungle. My name's Evan. Today, I'm joined with Zach, and today, first episode of the Around the Jungle YouTube channel. Um, we're going to be hopefully posting a video after each of the games, kind of giving you our thoughts and previewing the following week. But today, we're going to be previewing Week One. The Bengals play the Pats on Sunday at 1 o'clock. And we're going to dive into it here. But before we do, make sure to follow us on Instagram and Twitter for all of your Bengals news at Around the Jungle. And without further ado, we'll jump right in. So the Pats play the Bengals at home at 1 o'clock. And we'll kind of preview the game here real quick. So, Zach, how do you think the Bengals will open the season up against this year?
Obviously, I think it'll be a win. It should be a win. This is this is probably about the best Week One matchup you can ask for, unlike last year against the Browns. Um, I think. The biggest concern is really just, Jamar Chase. What's he going to do? But honestly, even if he doesn't play, I think there's. I don't think they shouldn't have a problem with or without him against the Patriots. But I think that he would certainly help them. Um, I don't foresee this really being a great game. But it'll be a layup. It should be for the home opener. So that's exciting.
Yeah, I would hope it'd be a layup. If not, then we might have a lot of questions.
Yeah, if they lose to the Patriots this week, there needs to be some serious soul searching done. Because I realize that they never really play well in week 1 and 2, but this is one of the worst teams in probably the NFL. Let's be real. you know, so now see what I'm more scared of. Well, we'll talk about that next week. But the week 2 game, that's gonna be a tough game. But this week, I see no reason why I shouldn't start out 1-0.
Plus, it's the all orange game. They
Ah,
be in
yeah.
their all orange jerseys, so you can't lose the first game in the all orange jerseys.
No, they have to win opening in orange. I'm very, very excited to see this combination. It looks so sweet. I have been saying since we got the new uniforms, we got to get orange pants, and finally,
It took them long enough.
I'm excited to see those pants with the black jerseys and even the white ones too. This is just, you can make some sweet combinations with this stuff.
Oh yeah, the whole jungle is going to be all decked out in orange. It's going to be sick.
Yeah, I'll be wearing my orange Jamar Chase jersey for sure for this one.
There you go. But yeah, this should be an easy win. Yes, they do usually start off pretty slow, but the Patriots were obviously one of the worst teams in the NFL last year, and they didn't really do a whole lot to improve. And with them naming Jacoby Brissett as the starter, I think it shouldn't be too much of a problem. I think it'll be good that this will be really the first time we've seen in a while that Burrow has had a fully healthy offseason. And so to
Yeah.
see how he can start off after being fully healthy, because obviously last year he dealt with the calf injury, and before he had appendicitis, and he's come back from his ACL tear, and really
Then
his
it was
last
COVID.
so he's really never had this is his first full injury-free training camp, which is crazy to say, but
Yeah.
um,
He's going into his 5th year, and it's the first time he's had a full training camp.
yeah.
What
So
I think
hopefully,
that'll be
he
good
can,
though.
yeah, definitely. Hopefully, he can hit the ground running.
Yeah.
Even if Jamar's not there, you still have T. Higgins, who's been
Mm-hmm.
at practice all summer.
And
Andre
been playing
McLaurin,
pretty good.
who's been pretty good. So the
Mm-hmm.
guys like Trent Irwin, Jermaine Burton, Charlie Jones, all those guys. So even if Jamar doesn't play, I feel like it's not that big of a deal. But for them to do well next week against the Chiefs, Jamar has to be there.
I agree with that 100%. If he's not there for week 2, then that's going to definitely be an issue. But I mean, for this week, I'm really not super concerned about it. And I mean, to be honest with you, even if we got word right now that they signed him, I still don't think he plays because it's Thursday and he's practiced 2 days the entire offseason with the team. So I don't think he plays even if they sign him before the game. But luckily it's the Patriots, so it shouldn't be a problem. And yeah, Joe Burrow having a full preseason is definitely going to be a really big deal too, because this is the first time we've seen him healthy going into the year since I mean, he was healthy going into his rookie year, but that was COVID and everything. So
Yes.
it's that I think that's encouraging. I think we'll see. We might not see quite as rough of a start, maybe that way. Because, I mean, you could tell. I mean, opening last year with the Browns was brutal, anyways, because the Browns are a really good team, and for some reason the Bengals just can't beat them. But
Did Burrow throw a lot of interceptions that game?
I
Or was that
think
the year prior?
I can't remember how. I know the year we went to the Super Bowl when we played him at home, he threw at least one. It was like a pick six because I was at that game. I'm not sure if he threw a lot of interceptions or not in that game, but I know that he did not play well at all, and he was clearly injured with the calf. But by the way, I don't think he even should have been on the field last year. Just to put that out there. But
They didn't throw any interceptions last year. They just didn't do anything on offense.
yeah, yeah, it was wet and rainy. Like, I mean, that was just a pitiful, pitiful football game. I mean, it was just brutal. That was terrible to watch. But yeah, we'll put that one out of our memory. This one should be better though. This should be a better week 1 game. I mean, because seriously, I don't think the Patriots there's really nothing that, in my opinion, that the Patriots have that I'm like concerned about. Like, I think that the Bengals can beat them pretty handily with or without Jamar Chase. I'm not really. They don't have. I mean, Jacoby Brissett's starting, which I think is a good decision for the Patriots with Drake May and stuff. But I mean, I still don't really think they have any offensive weapons. I don't think they've addressed that still.
Yeah.
I mean, their wide receiver 1 is Demario Douglas, right? Or is it Kendrick Bourne?
I think it's Kendrick Bourne, but I don't know if he's playing this week or not.
Well, that just makes it even worse then. Yeah, I am just not concerned about the Patriots at all.
Yeah. So I feel I did see yesterday that Jamar did practice, which was good.
Mm-hmm.
Good to see him out. He wasn't full participant, but at least he was out there doing a little bit of stuff.
Yeah.
And we've heard that the contract negotiations have kind of ramped up and stuff. So do you think there's any chance that he gets a deal done before Sunday? And we kind of already touched on it, but if so, what do you think he'll play?
Well, I would like to hope that the deal gets done before Sunday. I mean, I think that I don't know. I think it will, but it's a different situation than it was with like Burrow last year, because Burrow had Burrow had played through. Well, actually, no, it is the same situation, isn't it? Because Burrow played through the first 3 years of his rookie deal, and then he got signed. So I guess it is the same, then, isn't it? Like, year wise.
Yeah, but Burrow he wasn't threatening to sit
Yeah.
out.
Yeah. So I mean, that's where it's different because Burrow wasn't sitting out, but yeah, I think that I think it'll get done. I think that it'll get done before Sunday or on Sunday, but because the Bengals are going to sign him.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, Mike Brown has openly said that they're going to do everything they can to get this done. Like, they're not going to let Jamar Chase go. They're going to sign him, but I think it'll get done before Sunday. I certainly hope it does because, like we said, we need him for next week against the Chiefs. If he doesn't play against the Chiefs, then that's not going to be good at all. So I'm really like crossing my fingers and hoping it gets done before Sunday. And the price to extend him goes up every freaking day they don't.
Yeah.
Like I wish they'd have signed him back in June, but I know that he was waiting for like Jefferson and Ceedee to get their deals, so it wouldn't have happened. But ideally, they signed him back in June, because the price just goes up every day they don't. So I'm really not sure what I mean, just sign the guy. Like you're going to give him a deal. Just give him what he wants, and even if they give him what he wants right now, and he becomes the highest paid player or highest paid receiver ever, by this time next year he already won't be. It'll be a deal by then. So just give him the money. Just get him signed, get him locked down. I don't know what the holdup is, but I mean, on the same hand, I do kind of see it from the Bengals side though, because dude still has 2 more years of his rookie deal.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, he doesn't need to be demanding this money right now. Like, he has 2 more seasons on his rookie deal, so it's like, like from the Bengals standpoint, I get like, what's the rush? Like, we have him for 2 more years on a rookie deal, but from his standpoint, like I know he just wants to get his money right now. But I just think, like, given the situation that Jamar's put them in, I think they just have to do it. And if they do get it done before Sunday, which, like, fingers crossed that they do, I don't think he plays because I think it's just cutting it too close.
Yeah.
That's my thought.
I would feel comfortable if they got a deal done here in the next couple of days, and then Jamar doesn't play, practices on next week, and then is ready for Kansas City. Because
I think that's
what usually happens with players who are sitting out most of, if not all, of training camp. It takes you a little while to get in the flow of just the game again. And so with Jamar only practicing twice this whole summer, granted he's a receiver, so it's a little bit easier to kind of get back in the swing of things rather than like a quarterback or running back or something. But still, I think it's gonna take a little bit for him to kind of get back into the swing of things, because I mean, I know he's been working privately and stuff, but I don't know if him and Burrow have been just throwing around and stuff. Like, obviously, I know they always have great chemistry, but it's still always nice to get some of those reps in before you start playing on Sundays. So I think for him, for the Bengals, even, I mean, they've let it drag on this late. You might as well just get the deal done, not have to worry about it anymore, and get him practicing. That way, you can have the best version of Jamar Chase on the field rather than him kind of getting up to speed as we're heading into like right in the meat of the season. So luckily, outside of the Chiefs, the first quarter of the season isn't terribly difficult. So if it does take him a little bit to kind of get up to speed, I don't think it's going to be the end of the world. But I agree. I think you might as well just get it done. I don't know what the holdup's been. I don't know if it's been on Jamar's side or the Bengals side. I'm not really sure, because there's been a lot of speculation and stuff. Nobody really knows what's happening. But every other player that was holding out has been signed, and Jamar's the only one that hasn't. So at this point, you might as well just get the deal done, move on, and then just not have to worry about it again.
Yeah, I say just get it done, put it behind him, move on, and let's start playing football. But I had been seeing that he wants to like pass Justin Jefferson's deal by like 1 penny or something.
Yeah, I don't know if that's a true report or not.
Like, I mean,
I have seen that.
I mean, if that's true, just give it to him. I mean, I bet you that the issue is the guaranteed money. I bet you he's wanting most of the contract guaranteed.
Yeah, because what was CD's contract? How much of his was guaranteed?
I think it was like 140 million with like 100 or 110 of it guaranteed. Yeah. Somewhere around those numbers. Most of the deal was guaranteed.
Yeah.
So I would be willing to bet that's the holdup and that's the issue with the Bengals, because they don't like giving guaranteed money. But, I mean, I understand why, because if this guy has a career-ending injury, I mean, you still are out $100 million,
Yeah, so you get $100 million guaranteed.
Yeah.
That's kind of what Jamar's looking for.
Yeah.
But even I said this, like, even if, like, because some people were saying, oh well, the reason why he wants to get a contract now is due to him potentially getting injured. I was like, if Jamar goes out and tears his ACL, which I pray doesn't happen, I'm
Yeah.
still giving him the money. Like I don't like he's still a top 5 receiver in the NFL. Like
Well, and the thing is that even if that would happen, which just pray that does not happen. But if like worst case scenario that does happen, dude's 23 years old. Like I'm pretty confident that he can come back within the next season to 100% off of that ACL.
yeah,
So just give him the dang money. That's where I'm at. Just give him the money and let's move on and let's focus on. Well, obviously you want to focus on the Patriots because that's who we have this week. But I think him playing against the Patriots is kind of like out of the picture now. So let's get him ready for Kansas City because for some reason the NFL scheduled that week too.
yeah,
So and that's going to be a big game.
yeah, definitely. So obviously Burrow, we talked about, he has his first fully healthy offseason. Obviously last year dealt with the calf at the beginning of the year and then the wrist. So far reports have been pretty good. His wrist is feeling good. He's got good strength and mobility. I know you were worried a little bit about kind of the rotation of some of his balls earlier in training camp, but
Yeah.
how do you think he's going to do this season and kind of respond from that injury? Because everything that we've heard him say and Zach Taylor say, everything seems to be going very well, and he seems to be dialed in this year.
Yeah, I mean, most of what I've seen recently hasn't really. I mean, he's looked pretty good. I mean, earlier in training camp and stuff, and kind of like a little bit into maybe week one or something of the preseason, a lot of his passes were pretty wobbly. Like they were getting there, but they were just really wobbly. And I mean, I think that in the NFL, I think that's a little bit of an issue. But he's looked good so far. I think he's kind of been getting better and cleaning that up a little bit. In terms of how he's going to come back and play for the whole season with this, honestly, I'm banking and hoping for the best. But who knows? I mean, this is an unprecedented injury for quarterbacks. Um, And the other thing is that the Bengals like to throw the ball a lot. So the amount of like volume that he's going to be seeing immediately when the season starts, like he's going to be getting a lot of passes in every week as soon as the season starts for 20 some odd straight weeks. So, I mean, I'm hoping that he holds up pretty well with the wrist. He's looking good so far, so it's encouraging. Outside of the wrist, though, he's put on like 15 pounds of muscle, which
Yeah,
is
he's
that's
looking
really
slim.
good too. Get some extra like padding and cushion on. Because I mean, let's be honest, like the whole season hangs on him. Like if he's healthy and he's back at 100% and he plays the whole season, they're Super Bowl contenders. If he is not 100% and or not healthy, they might not make the playoffs. So everything hinges on him. So personally, I'm banking on the upside, and so far recently he has looked pretty good. So I'm banking on the upside. I'm not super concerned about it, but I think that I'm anxious to see how this week one goes because it's not a brutal matchup. It kind of ease into it a little bit. So we'll see how he goes, but I think he'll be fine. I think he'll be fine.
Yeah, I think from all reports and everything that he's said and Zach Taylor said, it sounds like his rehab's been going very well. And as he's practiced throughout training camp, he's only gotten stronger, gotten more mobility in that wrist.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it was good that he played that small portion in the preseason. I
Yeah.
think that was good to kind of get him back in the swing of just kind of how a game goes. And yeah, I agree with you. I think if he plays and is at 100%, I think the sky's the limit for this team. I think they're definitely Super Bowl contenders. And I think it's huge that he put on that 10 to 15 pounds of
Yeah.
muscle. So now he's sitting at 220, and which that only helps with injury prevention, and that just helps him all around. He said that's the biggest he's been in the NFL, which is good. And
Yeah.
we've seen he's still mobile. I mean, we've seen in practices he's scrambling around, throwing back foot routes or throws to like deep balls and stuff. Like he's looking like the Joe Burrow that we're used to seeing, that we
Hmm.
really didn't see much of last year. And so I think it's good that he's got this full training camp. It sounds like his mindset has changed on how he approaches his body, how he
Yeah.
approaches his work,
Yeah.
and I think that's huge. And he seems really dialed in this year to get the job done, which is always great. I mean, he's always had a great mentality. That's one of the biggest things that he's been preached on. But just to see see that kind of expand, I think is great, and that's only going to rub off on the players.
Yeah, for sure.
And so I think, yeah, I think really this week is just going to be a testament to see how he's actually doing once he gets in full game speed, full game time, takes a couple of hits, um, to see
Yeah.
how he's actually doing. So I think this week, like you
Yeah.
said, will be a good testament to how far along he's actually been, and really can kind of set the table for how good this team could be if
Yeah.
he's at 100%.
Yeah. I'm just, and we've talked about this at length. His, the injuries racking up for him, it's a little concerning.
Yeah.
And, hopefully that him kind of changing his approach to like how he takes care of his body and, his training regimen and adding more weight, hopefully all of that will kind of help address those issues, because he's not old by any means. He's 27, so he's young for a quarterback. He's got, I mean, if he's like fully healthy and he plays like the course of his career like he could, he's got like anywhere from like 13 to 15 more years probably. Honestly, 10 to 15 more years probably. Even at 27, with the way the game is nowadays, quarterbacks can play longer. And, I mean, the quarterbacks from our younger era playing into their 40s now, Aaron Rodgers and Tom Brady. And, so he's got quite a while left on his career, if he can stay healthy. The injuries have really piled up for him, and that's very concerning. But so I'm just hoping that the way he kind of has changed his routine, I'm hoping that helps, because being in the NFL, you've seriously got to take care of your body. You can't just be like in high school and college where you kind of just do whatever you. I mean, you train, but you kind of eat whatever you want, and you just kind of do whatever you want whenever you want and go out and play, and you're fine. But in the NFL, that's just not the case, because these games are there's more games. It's just the toll is a lot higher. So yeah, I'm hoping that him switching up his care routine will help things, because we've seen Tom Brady. I mean, earlier in his career, he was having some injury issues. I think it was like his elbow or something on his throwing arm. Like I don't know exactly what it was, but I know that he was kind of having some injury stuff earlier in his career. But then obviously he totally changed and overhauled like how he trains and takes care of himself. And obviously now we see he's like the gold standard of health and fitness in your 40s. So I mean, I'm hoping that the same can be said with Burrow. But we'll have to really see how this week goes here. That'll be a good like marker, I think, for him personally and his health. Um, I'm hoping for the best.
I am too. All right, real quick before we wrap up, the Bengals released their first depth chart of the season, and some notable things where Trent Brown will be starting at right tackle, Zach Moss will be the starting running back, Andre Yoshivas will be the wide receiver 3, and Dax Hill will be one of the starting corners. So just out of those kind of four names, what those kind of stood out to you?
Well, I mean, to be honest with you, the one that kind of stands out to me the most is Zach Moss. I mean, Chase Brown has been getting a lot of time in practice, and I mean, preseason games obviously, but he's been playing really well and been getting a lot of reps and stuff with the first team. So, um, I'm not surprised that Zach Moss is getting the nod, but I mean, I think Chase Brown, I I think he kind of made a case for it. Um, but it's like we've said. I think it's going to be a split backfield at least for a little bit. I could very well see Chase Brown starting to overtake more reps. I don't think he's going to own the backfield like Joe Mixon did, just because both of those guys are young and talented players. But I think that Chase Brown has a good chance to take more of the shares in the backfield. Um, so that was the one that kind of stuck out to me the most. And then Dax Hill, that one was interesting as well. Why do you think they put him over DJ Turner?
I don't know. Zach said that they both were battling. They just gave the nod to Dax, but he said DJ's still going to be heavily involved in different packages and stuff. So
Interesting.
he's not going away. But
Yeah.
I mean that's a testament to Dax Hill because I mean at safety, there's always like obviously he was first round pick a couple years ago, and everybody was like had high expectations for him, and he
Hmm.
kind of to this point hasn't really lived up to those. He's been kind of been hard to kind of find his place on the team. And so
Yeah.
moving him to corner this year, it'll be his first year at corner, which he played a little bit in college at Michigan. I think that'll be good for him, and we always need more corner depth. So I
Yeah.
think he adds to that, and I think DJ Turner will also be heavily involved. I wouldn't be surprised if he's heavily involved in different packages.
Hmm.
But now, I mean, we have a DB room of Mike Hilton, Cam Taylor, Britt, Dax Hill, and DJ Turner um, with Jordan Battle, Von Bell, and Geno Stone in that safety room. So I like how the secondary is shaking out.
Yeah.
It's young and a little unproven, but I think we have a lot of guys and a lot of pieces that can make a big difference. And so I'm kind of excited to see how Lou Anarumo kind of molds that secondary and kind of how he packages certain players. And I think it'll be really interesting to watch.
Yeah, I would agree with that. I think that, a lot of people have been saying like one of the biggest concerns with this Bengals team is the defense and the secondary. I don't really think it's a concern right now. I mean, obviously we'll see going into week one and so forth, but I'm not concerned about this secondary. I mean, the safety room, we know the safety room is really good. Geno Stone was a stud last year and he's young, and Von Bell is a proven veteran. I mean, I am Jordan Battle even last year as a rookie. He put on a good showing towards the end of the year last year as a rookie. I am quite thrilled with the safety room. And then the corner room, obviously Cam Taylor Britt is extremely good. We all know that. And then, the other corner I think is where the unproven part comes in because you got DJ Turner who's coming into his second year, right? That's right, right? Yeah. And he was, he played last year a little bit, but it's just we don't know for sure. The jury's still out on him, but obviously on Dax Hill too.
Last year.
Yeah. But Dax Hill is there, yeah. I think that I'm excited to see him at corner because I think that he is a very talented player. I just think that, kind of like you said, he was just kind of having trouble finding his like footing and his place in the defense. So I think it'll be good for him. I'm excited to see him there at corner. But that's the one that's just kind of, I think that's the question mark. Other than that position between Dax Hill and DJ Turner, I'm not concerned about this secondary at all.
Yeah,
But
it should be. I'm interested to see how Lou Anarumo kind of puts together that whole defense because it's a lot of new faces there.
yeah,
Um, and then on offense, I think one thing that was interesting, which I'm not surprised by it, was Andre Yosivas already obviously being wide receiver three. He was kind of a camp standout early on. He looked really good. And so I'm excited to see what he can do. I thought he showed some flashes last year, and obviously in training camp, all the players and coaches have spoke highly of him, and he's been doing pretty well. But I'm interested to see how they implement, if they do, Jermaine Burton, because he
Yeah.
played very well in the preseason, and he's only a rookie, and he kind of brings that explosiveness and that not that Yoshivash doesn't necessarily bring. Yoshivash is more of kind of like a T. Higgins type player, where I would
Yeah.
say Jermaine Burton kind of has like the speed and dynamic receiving ability as like a Jamar Chase, where he's more like that big play guy, and we saw that in the preseason. I think he was the highest rated wide receiver, like rookie wide receiver,
I think he
um,
was, yeah.
in the preseason. So I think he's shown a lot of good flashes. So I'm interested to see if he's going to get any run um, throughout the season, because I think obviously losing Tyler Boyd's a big loss, but I think with him, Irwin, Charlie Jones, and now Jermaine Burton, I think there's four guys in there that you can plug and play at that wide receiver
Hmm.
position. I would feel fairly confident with them producing, and obviously with Burrow, that helps them a lot.
Yeah.
I think that wide receiver three position is interesting. I think Yoshivash, he definitely did enough to win that, and he deserved to win that. But I'm interested to see how they get the other guys involved.
Yeah, I would agree with that. Personally, I would really like to see Jermaine Burton get involved here. I I think Jermaine Burton is really good. He had an extremely good preseason, and he just like Jermaine Burton just seems like more of a slot guy to me than Yossi Vosh does. Um, but I think this is just like they're putting the best three on the field right now.
Yeah,
So and obviously Yossi Vosh has been a camp standout, and he had a great rookie year last year. So I think that this receiving room is extremely deep. Um, I think that I don't think it's as good of a receiving room as we had with Tyler Boyd, because I will say this over and over again. Tyler Boyd was an extremely underrated receiver. Um, but I think that it's the deepest receiving room that we've had, because we've got five or six guys that can come in and start and be fine. So that is exciting. But yeah, Tyler, I have said this multiple times that Tyler Boyd was extremely underrated. If Tyler Boyd doesn't go down in that AFC Championship game against the Chiefs, I think we win the game. So he definitely left the hole, but I think that we've got like three dudes that can come in and play their part to fill it best they can. So I'm very excited to watch this receiving room. And the other thing to think about too is that Jamar Chase is probably not playing this week. So is Burton going to get that nod then in his place?
he could. I don't know.
That would be interesting.
That would be
I'm very excited to watch Jermaine Burton here. I think Jermaine Burton has a lot of promise. I think he's going to be a really good receiver.
yeah, I agree. I've also heard that they might run some packages with Jamar in the slot when he does
Yeah. Oh, yeah, for sure. Yeah, Jamar, you're gonna have to play him everywhere. I mean, he is just the best receiver on this team by far. He's one of the best receivers in the league. He needs to be playing every position. Like they need to move him all over the field. Move him anywhere they can to get him the ball. Like the ball has to be in his hands, and they have to move him through slot, through like the any receiving position on this team. They got to move him through. He's got to play all of them, and I think he's good enough to do that.
that. I agree. So it'll be interesting. Who's the Dan Pritchard, right?
Yeah,
Pritchard. I think it'll be interesting to see how he kind of runs this offense. Obviously, first time OC. I think it'll be good. It'll be interesting to see how the offense looks.
mm-hmm.
Obviously,
Is Zach Taylor still calling plays?
I'm not sure. I know. I think he relinquished a little bit of that last year, but I don't know if with the new
Yeah,
OC if he took back. But I'm not 100%.
yeah. Because there's, I love Zach Taylor. I think he's a phenomenal head coach. But there were times, particularly last year, where I just was I I struggle to understand what they're trying to do here on offense. Like it almost like last year, it just seemed like it was just kind of a mess of a bunch of different plays, and it's like, well, they weren't going downfield last year either. They weren't attacking downfield at all. So I just, sometimes I find that the Bengals offense, like I said, particularly last year, but I just find that it's kind of tough to watch sometimes. Like they got all this talent, but they're just it's kind of frustrating to watch because they're just not like they can't move the ball effectively, or they can't move the ball downfield, or they aren't as explosive as they should be with the pieces that they have. So it was pretty frustrating to watch this Bengals offense last year. So I'm not sure if he's calling the play. I don't really know, but that'll be something to look at as well. I think to see the new first year OC kind of like, is the offense going to look a little different, or is it going to be the exact same stuff? I don't know. Well, hopefully it's more explosive. So we'll see.
That'll be something to monitor.
Yeah, for sure.
We're just excited that Bengals football is back.
Oh yeah.
Obviously, football season is a great time of the year, and obviously we're diehard Bengals fans, so we've been anxiously waiting to get back on the field. So yeah, week 1 against the Pats. Let us know if you guys how you think the Bengals will do. Give some score predictions, and then we'll have a video out probably Monday or Tuesday, kind of reacting to the game and giving our thoughts, and hopefully they're all good. Hopefully nothing too bad.
Hopefully.
So yeah, that's going to wrap it up for this episode of Around the Jungle. We will see you guys in the next one. Hoo day.
Hoo day.